Hi, this is Corey with Creative Roots by Corey. Welcome to my channel. I am an artist. I use acrylic paints, and as you can see, I like to use my hands. So I'm doing a background. This is the Rustic Wednesday on Saturday, and our hosts are Repurposed My Way and Shabby Meets Bling. Thank you for having me. So here I am getting my sky. This was so much fun to do. So I really do like to use my hands. I use my fingers. I like to do a scratch technique. And I will show you, I try to use the tool, a palette tool, because actually it hurts my fingernails, but it really does the job so well. But here I am trying to get the background. You can see I'm drying it a little bit. So I use a lot of water. And my technique is mostly just the paint and a lot of water, but then I kind of pull the water out. It gives me a better flow. So you can see I just keep adding like a little bit. If you guys are interested in any of the paints I'm using, please comment and let me know, and I would be happy to show you. I do have some favorites, but it's typically, I just use acrylic paints. So I have about 3 or 4 different colored blues for the sky. And I'm going to just let that dry and start on another part of my painting. That's what I do. Just let one part dry. And, you're probably like me. I like to see something immediately. So I really work all over the canvas. And this is rustic. We had a pretty broad choice, but I chose to do a rustic scene. And it's so sweet. I can't wait for you guys to see the finished results. I do sell everything, and in my description I have quite a few different places that I sell. We sell over on Facebook on Tuesdays. We do live selling in a group called the Shopping Experience, and I will put that in the description. So we do live selling, but I also have a pop-up store. It's called Creative Roots Art Pop-Up Store. And again, I will put that in the description, along with everybody that's in this playlist will be in my description. So make sure that you subscribe to each one of their channels. And of course, I would love for you to subscribe to mine as well. I usually put shorts on just different techniques and let you guys watch my paintings evolve. It's pretty cool. So I have been using a different background, like to prep it, the primer, and it actually pulls a lot of the paint off, so it was a little bit trickier. I was actually pretty shocked right there when I went to dry that, and there was nothing but white, but it does dry eventually. So it was actually the Apple Barrel, just white matte paint. I'm not really sure why it's doing that, but it did it to another painting as well, but it does dry and everything's good. So as you can see it coming together, I am doing a cabin. So cute. So I also teach classes, mostly on here. It's more like advertisements. I'm just showing you how I paint. I do have I'm getting quite a following of people who want to purchase my art. So really this is more like like my commercial, but I do also teach. So drop me a comment if you're interested in taking a class. I don't have any that are set up right now, but I will shortly. We have quite a few different businesses going. So I had seen this. This is actually Pinterest. Oh, sorry about that. Actually Pinterest inspired, but of course I put my twist on it. Everybody has their own technique, so it doesn't look exactly like that, but I do like to look at Pinterest and do just that, get inspired. So I'm going to let you guys watch this. I've heard a lot of feedback that people like to just look and kind of like quietly watch my paintings come to life, so I'm going to let you guys do that for a little bit. Enjoy. Okay, so here we are. You can see, like, the longer you work on it, my painting and most paintings, the way that they become so detailed, right, is you build them up and build them up and build them up. I normally will do one sitting, I just kind of step back, have a snack, kind of rest my eyes, and then, get like a fresh perspective on it. So I do maybe 3 or 4 different sittings, but obviously for the video, I couldn't do that. So I will dry it, but that's not something I do often. But you can see I'm using my fingers, and I just loved the tree. It was so pretty. It almost looked like a weeping willow, so I was really trying to get that look, and you can see I changed it a couple times. But I do end up, like with my tool, kind of doing like that scratch and, with the water and pulling it down to create that willow, that weeping willow look. Okay, so let's enjoy a little bit of music. Okay, so our cabin is really starting to take shape here, and I am using a little flat brush for this. Those brush strokes kind of look like the wood grains, so I thought that would be appropriate here. I'm trying to fill in that tree a little bit. I love, see how it kind of goes, it's dripping down. I'm still trying to create that little weeping willow look, and it does happen in the end. I really was happy with that. I like my paintings to have a lot of flow, and it really does start getting that flow look. So what I'm doing right here is actually the background. There's like trees back there in the distance, maybe like bushes. That creates that rustic oasis, right? Oasis in the woods. I hope you're enjoying this, and let me know if you enjoy just kind of having that silent watch and then the light music. So I will let you go back to enjoying that shortly. I just want to show you I'm using my palette tool here, and this is where I'm really building it up. So I'm kind of etching out the windows here, but I'm also taking my paint, and you'll see on the roof here shortly. So I take my paint, and it's pretty thick. It's almost like you would do like a dry brush. You'll get that same look with this palette tool. I feel like I get a lot more like texture doing it this way. And then here's where I normally would just let it dry, but I think I have to dry it a couple times here, but it's definitely starting to take shape, right? It was so fun to do, and I love to just like sit back and imagine how many wonderful memories would be had each summer. I'm from upstate New York, so we would only be using this in the summer. I mean, of course, I guess you could use it in the winter and do some ice skating, but so see how like vibrant the colors are becoming, and that's what happens. This would be considered maybe like my second sitting typically, so I would let it dry and then come back and start building it up and doing all those same techniques really. with my palette tool and spreading it on, and then I do a little bit of scratching, and that's just where you get like all that different texture and see all the different colors that are going into it. That's what makes your painting look like that 3D, where there's actually some depth. So even though your grass is green, I have here a dark green, probably like a hunter green. I even had a neon green. Oops, sorry about that. That's my pup. And then, yeah, so that variation gives it depth and makes it a little bit more realistic, right? I'm starting to put the posts on, and hopefully you'll be able to tell that that's actually a little deck. A little deck in the front, and then this is the door, which is actually on the side. So let me know if you guys comment. Let me know. Do you do that with paintings? Do you kind of imagine or tell a story? I think having a creative brain, you tend to do that. Again, there's actually a lot more water here. I'm not really sure why when I go to put my, to add my video into my editing app, it cuts the bottom off. I had quite a bit to work with, so I was surprised, but I really wanted you to see this part right here that I'm doing right now, because it's the reflection, and it really does make the painting, but you will see that at the end. I'll put the finished piece on. And that my palette tool is nice for that too, to make it look like, like it's like that reflection, kind of like when the water is kind of rippling, so it's not perfectly straight. So again, with a lot of water and the acrylic paint and this palette tool, it just, the whole painting just really comes together. I am adding a little bit of blue into the water, which is actually the sky reflecting. So I do go back and try to add a little bit more of the blue into the sky, because when I was trying to get that weeping willow look on my tree, I lost some of my sky. See, this is where I'm kind of making it almost look murky a little bit to create a more realistic water look, that reflection. And again, I encourage you to check out my store to see more of my art. It's Creative Roots Art pop-up store, and I have that in my description. And I want to thank again our hosts, which are Repurposed, My Way, and Shabby Meets Bling. I've been in a couple of their collaborations, and I really enjoy it. All my paintings have a lot of flow, so I was just doing kind of like that padding up on the top, like where that my tree is, and then the padding in with the scratch, it really came out good. A lot of action. Now this is, like I said, this is probably my third sitting. I tend to have a little bit of issue with like angles when you're doing, there's so many. You've got your two different roof lines and the side and the doors and in the poles. So I did have to go back and work with that a little bit to make my angles a little bit better. And again, that's when you just take a break, step back, look at it, let it dry, and you'll be able to tell more. And in the end, it looked beautiful, and I actually sold this one, but it will be available in the Artist Lounge collection as a digital print. So make sure you message us. Well, actually, I'll put our store, that's through Ko-fi, so we can put that right in the description as well. So my partner is Mary with the Painted Peach, and we have a couple different businesses, and we do have our Artist Lounge on YouTube. We do a podcast. It's so much fun. If you are a business, a crafty business, let us know, and we would love to have you on our podcast and spotlight you. Again, it's the Artist Lounge, and it will be in the description as well. So yeah, I'm starting to work on my angles and all that right now. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope it was relaxing. And again, if you have any questions, please comment and let me know. I always get back. And I love my metallics. That's usually one of the last things I add, but I did put it on here. So that, what you're seeing on the cabin there, that looks like a brownish shimmer, that is copper. I like copper and brown metallics, and they're just acrylics. There's not any specific. I just love copper and brown. I use the gold as well, but I like that combination with the copper and the brown. It's so fun. It just really adds such a beautiful touch. So of course this is not like the end of my building up, but hopefully you guys got an idea of like the techniques that I use and just watching it come to life. I hope you enjoyed it, and be sure to check out my shop and the shopping experience and Creative Roots Art by Corey on here. I appreciate you guys for taking the time to watch, and make sure that you watch each and every one of us. There's some amazing creators in here. Enjoy!